What up, everyone? So, we've got the unboxing and review of the Marvel Goods and Gear by Loot Crate. So this is a box that I've been hoping would be really good because I have a lot of confidence in Loot Crate. But you know, the last box wasn't that great, and this is a very expensive box. And the weird thing is, on the website, it's $45 for the box, and they only promise $75 worth of stuff in there, which is kind of weird because that's not a very good deal, to be quite honest, if that's what they're advertising. And the weird thing is, it's usually always lower than the advertised prices, as you guys have seen on most websites. They always claim like over $100, but it never is. So the fact that they're only promising $75, it was a little bit concerning to me. But, you know, it wasn't horrible last time or anything like that, but it just wasn't awesome either. There's the information card. Alright, so let's see what we got here. I'm not quite sure what this is. It's got a little tag on there. Looks like something from Black Panther. Let's take it out. Oh, it's an apron. Okay. So we got an apron with Black Panther on it. So, the Loot Crate's actually been kind of known for giving aprons. Oddly enough, I'm not sure why. I don't know what the deal is with aprons. I've personally never used one. I don't think they're that big of a thing out here in California where I'm from. I've never seen someone use an apron in my entire life, to be quite honest. Anytime we cook in the kitchen, I don't think we've ever used an apron. But that's just me over here. So maybe this is more useful to other people, but just not so much for me. But still, that's cool. It's got a cool design on it, so that works for everyone else. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, next. Looks like we got Super Science Plate Set. And I think the theme was science. What does it say? Yeah, the theme is super science, so I'm not quite sure what the difference is. Where'd my knife go? Just put my knife down. Let's open these plates up and see what's on them. Boop. Alrighty. Oh, they're plastic. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. I was thinking they were going to be like really nice plates, but they're just plastic plates. So we got the Hulk. Then we got Iron Man. Spider-Man. Boop. And last, Ant-Man. So I really like the designs. They're cool designs. I'm just kind of disappointed that they're made of plastic. I was hoping they'd be like a nicer material, because we got I can't remember if it was Loot Crate, it might have been Nerd Block. We got like a sushi set in there once, but it was actually nice ceramic plates. And these are, it's not like super cheap plastic, but it's also not very nice either. So that's a little disappointing on the quality of that, but it's got a really cool design on there. I like the plate design, so that works. There we go. Got some plates. So far, stuff straight from the kitchen. Alright, see what we got next. Got a Hank Pym measuring glass. So once again, also something that would belong in the kitchen. Let's take this out and take a look at this. Hopefully this is at least glass. It'd be kind of weird if it wasn't. Open, you bitch. Oh my god. Get out of there. Fuck! Ah, Jesus Christ. There we go. Alright. This is not glass either. This is plastic. Oh no, it's glass. Never mind. I was wrong. Alright, so there we go. That's what it looks like. Got the white piece of paper in there. That's the design on there. And then it's got the little measurements on the side. Alright. So it kind of seems like the theme is like cooking, to be quite honest. Alright, also looks like we got one more item in here. What is this? MODOK Ice Mold. There we are. And we'll see if we can get a good look at this. I don't think it'll help taking it out of the package at all, but we shall see. Oh, at least it's shaped like MODOK. That's cool. And I'm assuming the inside is the same shape. Yep, same thing. So you can have one ice cube shaped like MODOK. And these are more for, a lot of times it's for like whiskey and stuff like that, where you don't want a lot of ice or a lot of dilution in your drink. These are kind of nice. It's a bummer you can only make one at a time, but when you're drinking a mixed drink, it's better to have one large ice cube in there. That way it melts slower versus a bunch of small cubes like crushed ice, because it'll melt right away. Because it keeps it cool by dilution, so the bigger the ice cube is, the smaller the surface area, therefore it melts slower. So that's good if you want to do that, but it's just a bummer you can only do one at a time. And then we also got a pin. Really nice one, Ultron. So we got like a nice metal pin. So I'm actually starting to like pins more and more. That's a really nice quality pin though, I like that. So far the theme was super science, but this is not, the theme was not super science, the theme was kitchen products. The theme was cookware. We got a measuring cup, some plates, an apron, and an ice mold. All stuff that belongs in your kitchen. So why this was themed super science, I have no idea. It seems like they had a bunch of kitchen shit, and none of this really has anything to do with science. What does it say? The most brilliant. Oh, it says in your kitchen, of course. Okay. Alright, so I'll read the card and see what the explanation is of that. But yeah, that was all the items in there. Not a ton of them, but we'll come back, we'll talk about some value, and then we'll give this box a rating. See you soon. Alright, we are back. Let's talk about some value. So some of these values are going to be a little higher than they probably will be over the next week. Like I always mention, Loot Crate, their headquarters is right by me. So I'm always usually one of the first people to get this. So the values I mentioned are going to be a little higher. Not too much though. I did wait a little while, but just know they'll drop a tiny bit. So the first thing is the apron. This is only going for like $10 because it's an apron. Like, what? There's not much of a need for an apron. Like I said, they're just not that commonly used anymore. I know some people do, but it's just not really that necessary. Like, you see people doing them when they barbecue outside and stuff, but honestly, I'm a guy. Like, and most guys don't really wear aprons. If food's gonna splatter on our clothes, we just kind of let it. Like, we just don't give a shit that much. So the only people that really wear them is, like, ladies, if they're wearing something nice, they don't want stuff on it. But I'm really never in a position where I'm, like, super upset if a little food gets on me. So maybe that's just me, or maybe that's just the area where I live, but like I said, I've never once in my life seen anyone except like my mom use an apron. Guys just don't really do that. It still has a cool design, but that's why the value is not that high, because I don't think there's a ton of people that are like dying for that apron. And also you can buy aprons with any kind of design you want for super cheap online. They may not be branded, but you can get them very cheap because they're just very easy to make, because it's just one solid piece of cloth. So that's going for about $10. Then, our little plate set. Right now, this is going for about $20 to $22, but I imagine that'll drop as well because, like I said, they had really cool designs. I like the designs on here. It's very well done. It's just very cheap because they're plastic. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem that nice, like something I would want to keep and like bring out where it's like, oh, here are my plastic plates. If they had made them of even like cheap ceramic, I think that would have made all the difference. Would have made them like nice quality, something you could easily like put on display or something like that. Because I probably wouldn't use these if they're plastic. They would get damaged too easily. So if you wanted to put them on display, you could. They're cool little pictures, but that's why I think this value is probably going to drop pretty significantly. This is still early on. I think if a few more people get this, the price will keep dropping. Because again, I can't imagine a ton of people wanting this. If you're going to go out of your way to get like nice design plates, you're going to want nicer quality. You're going to want ceramic stuff. You're going to want something you can actually use that's not going to get scratched up. And I'm not even sure if it said these were these dishwasher safe? Yeah, it says dishwasher safe, but it says top shelf only, which means they're just not very high quality. If you put them on the bottom shelf, they could melt. So that just says something about their quality. So as of right now, it's $20 to $22, but don't expect it to stay at that. If you want to wait a couple days, you probably, if you are looking for it, you can get it much cheaper than that. It'll come down to probably $15 or less. Then, our Hank Pym glass. So the good news is, at least this actually is glass. So this is a measuring glass. It's got a little spout, but the cool thing about it is it doesn't have to be used as that, because the same situation, like, I know there are a lot of people that cook out there. I don't really cook that often, so I would have no use for this. But, you know, honestly, I know a lot of people that do cook, and they don't, honestly, people that do really don't use measuring glasses that often because they're so used to it. The people I know that cook often, they're used to whatever increment they have, like a spoonful or a pinch or something like that, where they don't usually need to measure it out. They can just kind of eyeball it. But that's just me and the people I've known, because I went to this school I went to had a culinary school there, and a lot of the people I knew did cooking and stuff like that, and they were just eyeball it. So I know this is useful, but what I was getting to is that you don't have to use it as a measuring glass. You can just use it as a drinking glass. You can drink beer out of this if you want to. So that's the good news about it. It doesn't only have one purpose. You can very easily just turn this into any sort of drinking glass, and it actually has a cool design on it. So that's the good news. It's not strictly to that one purpose. You can use it for whatever. But this one is going for like $12 to $15. And that price will drop a little bit, like probably a few dollars, but not much. It'll probably stay around that price because it is decent in quality. Next, our Modoc Ice Mold. This is going for like $9 or $10. This will probably drop $2 or $3 over the next week or so. But this is cool too. It's useful if you want one big ice cube for mixed drinks. But like I said, the unfortunate side is you can only make one at a time. And I've never been a big fan of ice molds because it's always cool in concept, but it's not like you can ever really show it off, you know? Because as soon as you take it out of the mold, you see it and it's like, oh, it's that shape. And then as soon as you put it into your drink, it changes shape. So it's like, well, what was it really worth putting that special ice tray in the freezer just so you could look at that mold for 1 second before you pop it in your drink? And it's not like when you're walking around, people are going to be like, holy shit, is that Modoc in your drink? They're going to be like, no, that's a regular ice cube because he has melted now. So it's cool in concept. It's a cool idea. But it's really kind of a waste because there's no one that really appreciates it. Unless you have the mold sitting out and just tell people about it. But other than that, there's really no purpose to having it molded as a specific thing because it's never really enjoyed by anyone, even visually. So it's kind of a contradictory concept. It's a little bit of a paradox there. But that's so not super practical, but it's still cool. The good news is that it's molded on the outside too, so if you don't use it for an ice sculpt, you could just put it on a shelf as just a little rubber Modoc. So at least there's that, because otherwise no one's ever going to know. As soon as he jumps in your drink, he's Meltoc. Alright, so last one, the pin. This goes for like $6 to $7, and that's pretty standard for pins these days. They're almost always right at that $6 to $7 range. Occasionally they'll go up to like $10, but almost always $6 to $7, and I think that's just pretty universal. This is a nice pin though. It's well sculpted. It's got a nice enamel on there, so it is a cool pin. I do like it, but that gets about $6 to $7. So that being said, our final value on the low end is 57, and on the high end is 64. Not high at all. Not far off from what they said, because they only promised $75, but even if it was at that $75 value, that's still not that much. You're paying $45, and that's only a little bit more than half what you paid for. But even on the high end, 64, which I wouldn't value at that, because like I said, these prices are going to drop, especially like the plates and stuff like that. They're going to drop pretty significantly. So it's definitely below $60, so probably closer to a $50 range. But even as it stands now, the average value is right around that $60 range, which is only $15 more than you paid, which is 30% more than what you paid for it. So you technically didn't lose money on it, but you really didn't get much more than you paid for it. And technically, if you didn't like one item in here, you lost money. So it's too narrow of a margin there, because you want to try, that's the whole point of trying to get double what you paid for, not because we're greedy and we want a bunch of stuff, but it's because they're never going to make a perfect box where everyone likes every single item all the time. It's not possible. So they have to give you more value just in case you don't like something. You're not losing money, it's just not as high as it should have been. When you get to this point, it's too close to it, so if you don't like one item, you've now lost money. If you don't like two items, you've wasted a bunch of money, and $45 is too much to spend. Even though it's bi-monthly, it's still a lot for this crate, and that's why I canceled Loot Crate DX. That one was just a little over $50, so not far off from this, and there was the same problem. These expensive crates just never give double the value. It's almost impossible for them to do it, and it's just not worth it. I'd much rather get a smaller box of Marvel stuff, pay less, and get more than double what I paid for. The funny thing is, the regular Loot Crate is so good at this. They almost never give less than double your value. A lot of times they give triple, sometimes like 4 times the value, because it's such a good price point. But when you get into this higher one, it's like this box gives almost the same amount of value as the normal Loot Crate. You're just paying more than twice as much. So what's the point? Why am I paying more for this and not getting more of my value? Also, the theme on this was a bit deceiving. So it said Super Science, but not until you get the card does it say in the description like, oh, science in the kitchen. It's like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just say this is a fucking kitchen-themed box. Like, why were you trying to trick people? This has nothing to do with science. None of this stuff has anything to do with science. So why say it's a super science theme when it's actually a kitchen theme? The funny thing is, there are a lot of people that do cook out there, that spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and that might have sold more if you just said that. But when you say science, people are expecting that, and they get a bunch of kitchen stuff. It just seems deceiving, and it doesn't make any sense. It's almost like they had a theme planned, and it didn't work out, so they switched it last minute, and then just said in the description card, oh, just kidding, it's everything in the kitchen. I don't like that either. They should be more honest and upfront about what's in there. Obviously not the specific items, but at least the theme, so people can know whether or not they want that box or not. So, overall, I'm not too happy with this. I have no use for the apron. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to sell it. I don't think I'm going to be able to give it away because I don't know anyone who would want that apron. And then the plates are fine, but they're just cheap quality, and they'll get ruined easy. The glass, I'll drink some beer out of that. I don't care. Like, that's probably the only thing that'll get used. I like the pin, and same with the Modoc thing. Like, I'll make an ice cube, but what fucking good is it? Is it going to make me feel any better about drinking my mixed drink knowing that Modoc is in there? Like, is it really going to make my drink any better or my day any happier? Like, no, not really. So, I feel like a lot of the items in here were kind of a waste. And as far as the score on this, I'm going to give this a 5.5, but I'm heavily considering giving it a lower score after I hear what you guys think. I want to hear your guys' opinions on it, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. It's not about me and what I feel and think. It's always about the group, the mass, the mob mentality whole thing. It's about what everyone thinks, combining that into one score, not just me. So let me know what you guys think about it, and we'll revisit this score, but I kind of think it deserves lower. Let me know if you guys do like this stuff. I think a lot of it's kind of useless. I had a lot higher hopes for a Marvel Loot Crate, but we just got stuff that goes in the kitchen. And honestly, I've seen similar stuff to this, like plates and stuff in Target that were a little bit lower quality that were sold for like a couple bucks. It's like, it's not that great. It's better than paper plates, but not by much. So I think they could have done a lot better, a lot different direction. They could have been more honest about the theme. They could have picked better items. They could have had more value. They could lower the price point. There's just a lot of things in here that aren't doing so well, and I'm very surprised that Loot Crate is doing this. So far, not so good. The first box was okay, and this one kind of sucked. We'll see what the next one comes. If they do another weird-ass theme like this, then I'm definitely canceling. There's no way I'm spending this much money on this weird random stuff. This is only like a step above the like Nerd Block Stan Lee thing, where it's just like a lot of weird things in there where it's like, okay, but why would I want those things? Why do I need those things? So I had really high hopes for this. I was very excited for it, but it has not delivered. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. We're almost done with the reviews of January. Only a few more boxes left and some more collectible reviews. So let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you all for watching and supporting. I'll see you on the next review. Love y'all. Peace.